Middle of the Pack podcast.
I never thought I'd miss racing as much as I did. Like, I'd always say, like, I hate racing, I hate the stress of it or whatever, but I never missed it as much as I did then. And I'm so grateful now to even be on start lines again. So I'm like, whatever times I run, as long as I'm on a start line, I'm running a race, I'm getting a medal after, I'm happy, to be honest.
And that's Karen Twomey, our guest on episode 34 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. I thought it was really important to get her back on the show. The first time we had her on, we were talking about the build-up to the marathon that she was going to run. And then the next time we got her back on, it was meant to give us an update, but unfortunately, she got injured. So she had been in a boot, and it felt like it was a sad way to finish the story as such. So we took it up by talking about taking the story on from there, how she got on, how she got through her injury, and it's not a spoiler because we talked about it in the promotion to the video, how she's back on the road and everything that goes with that. So this is episode 34 of the Middle of the Pack podcast with Karen Twomey, and we'll take it up telling her and discussing the unfinished business we have.
Yeah.
But it does feel like we have unfinished business because the last time we were on, you were injured, and it just felt like that was a sad way to leave the story, do you know?
I know. Yeah, I was in last time we spoke, I was in a boot, which is it's actually like 6 months ago now. Just crazy. Yeah. So I don't know at what point I last spoke to you. I had the X-ray. Had I had the MRI at the point that I spoke to you? Yeah, maybe I'd say I probably didn't have the results. I was still in the boot, I think, when I spoke to you. So I was in the boot for 2 weeks in total, which is nothing really in the grand scheme. Because when I had the MRI, which would have been 2 weeks after my initial injury point, they actually felt like it wasn't fractured.
Okay.
So initially the X-ray, they said, like, there's a bone abnormality. We think it's an avulsion fracture. Immediately boot. MRI to confirm. And even orthopedics were ringing me after, and they were kind of saying, like, we don't think it's necessary for you to get an MRI. Like, we're pretty confident in our decision that your foot needs to be immobilized. But I just got the MRI because I felt like it was probably important going forward in my training if there was anything else going on that I knew about it. So had the MRI, and they felt like there wasn't a stress fracture. They felt like there was very bad tendonitis on the tendon where it clipped onto the bone.
Yeah.
So probably borderline fracturing. But I had caught it probably just before that point. So I was actually really lucky. So I was able to come out of the boot more or less straight away once I got that result. And I responded really well to treatment. Like, I'm really, really lucky. Like, even my physio was saying he would have thought that it would have taken a lot longer from the injury that the MRI came up with. He would have thought that it would have taken a lot longer to get back on my feet. But I actually was really lucky. Like, I got through all the additional phases of like reloading it through the gym, plyometrics. I got through those really quickly. I had no adverse effects when I started run walking again. So I was able to build up my run walking up to a consecutive run fairly quickly. And I never had any major issue when I started running consecutively again. Now I would have to say run and then rest before I could run again.
And do you think it helped you, the fact that you had experience or you were fairly clued up with strength and conditioning? So that must have helped.
Yeah, no, like I did go and look for someone with more expertise because I was like, the PT course that I did was 8 weeks in total. Like, I have 3 years of working on a gym floor, but it was never very specialized to like specific running S&C. So I did actually go to Donegalong. He's a good runner. I went to Donegal, and he actually gave me a really, really good strength program. So he was able to assess basically the strength on my right leg versus my left leg. So the supposed fracture was on my right side. And we were able to determine that my right side was significantly weaker than my left. So it made sense as to why I was constantly getting injured on that side. So we were able to then address the weaknesses on that side. And he was really, really good at helping me with that. So yeah, I did seek external advice on that one because, I was like, my knowledge only goes so far with it.
Yeah. But at least you were used to doing exercises. There's a load of runners like that I know that don't do anything, like certain conditioning is getting in the way of going for a run,
I know, but it is hard to fit it all in. Like, I was only talking to someone about it earlier, and like, if you're running 4 times a week, I do Pilates once a week, which I do find has been really, really good actually. Pilates once a week, running 4 times a week, like that's straight away, that's 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Plus, then I rest days in between my sessions. Like today now, I'm really sore after yesterday. I have to rest today. I've plannings tomorrow. Try run Wednesday, run Thursday. Ideally, I like to have a rest day before I do a weekend of running again. You kind of run out of time. And if you're
Yeah.
working a full-time job as well, it's not realistic to be like, I'll go to the gym before work, go to work all day, and then I'll go running in the evening. Like, I don't necessarily have that luxury. Otherwise, you're sacrificing sleep, which I probably value more than squeezing in 2 sessions in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
It is
sleep
a tricky one, though.
and sleep is really important as well. I mean,
Yeah.
my coach is
I wouldn't be,
always mentions it. Like,
yeah. And I wouldn't be a mad fan of like I was trying to map out my schedule now this week for my training. And like, I have a particularly busy week this week. And one of my options was to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow and go for a 10K run before work. But I was like, sure, I'd have to be in bed by 8:30. Like if I was to be asleep then by 9:30, get my hours of sleep in, wake up at 5:30. No, like I wouldn't sacrifice sleep for it. So yeah, it's tricky to fit it all in.
so when did you?
Pilates though, I found that's really good. Like the Pilates is 45 minutes and I found that has really strengthened up my core, glutes, hamstrings, and
Yeah,
loads of calf, has really, really helped.
that's very good. So when were you back running then?
I came back running after, so I was in about 2 weeks. I probably was another 5 weeks after that before I started run walking again. So that was under the guidance of James Mackin. He works in the osteopathic clinic in Douglas. He was honestly unbelievable. He got me back running with a kind of run walk. He did all my plyometrics to start. And then I introduced Donica. He started with my S&C. And then I got back run walking with James Mackin. He gave me a plan for that. Got back run walking. That went on for about 6 weeks. Just very slow progression. So it would be like a minute running, a minute walking. And I do that 3 times in the week. Then it was 2 minutes running, 1 minute walking, do that 3 times in the week. And it kind of went on until I got up to, I think, 3 by 8 minutes. And I had no issues. Once I had no issues with that, then I could go back running for 20 minutes, 3 times a week. And it was fine. Like my foot was never 100% doing all of those things. Like I could definitely feel a weakness in it. But once I could rest for a day or two in between the next session, it would recover fairly quickly. And it has stopped giving me any bother, touch wood, in the last probably 4 weeks. I haven't felt it at all.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, but
And
it was still, I could still feel it after, say, if I ran like a Saturday and a Sunday and I had like an easy run on the Saturday and then a long run with the kind of a session built into the long run on the Sunday, on Monday, I could feel it. And it might just be the smallest movement. Like I might, squat down to pick up something and I could feel a twinge in my foot. So it was always just kind of a reminder that it was there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then I could have to rest for 2 days then before I could start my week of training again. But that hasn't happened now in about 4 weeks, which is positive.
And I see on one of your posts that you went and did a park run, which must have been,
My first ever park run. I've never ran a park run, which I think is gas because I don't know. I think everyone assumes if you're into running, you've definitely done a park run. I actually showed up at the wrong time. That's how little I knew about park run. I thought I left my house at 8:30. I thought I was running late. Thought it started at 9. Got there was absolutely nobody there. And I actually had to Google what time is the park run at. I had to find out it's at 9:30.
yeah, it's nine
But
o'clock in England.
yeah, okay. So I'd obviously heard somewhere that it was on at 9 o'clock. And 9:30 anyway, I kicked off. So it was my very first park run. And there was a girl went out really, really fast. So the plan was I was going to run an 8 out of 10 kind of effort with a strong finish. But like I'm highly competitive. So I knew that if anyone challenged me, that I would definitely go after them. But we were about 3/4 of the way through the first lap, that Tremor Valley Park, two and
Okay.
a half we were about 3/4 of the way through and the girl in front of me was powering on and I was like, oh my God, this girl is going to take me for a run. But the hill, that dreaded hill with the teddy bears,
Yeah.
she'd be strong enough on hills. And I kind of knew that that would be my advantage. So I was like, if I'm going to try and make a break, it's going to have to be on the hill. Like I'm going to have to put in a good effort up the hill. So I just powered up the hill and I probably got about 20 seconds on her and I just pushed on then. But I just kept telling myself that she was chasing me. And yeah, I came home first female. So I was delighted.
That's brilliant. So that must have given you a huge boost then, did it?
Yeah, 100%. Like I was talking to my coach, Tig, and I was kind of saying to him, I was like, what's an 8 out of 10 effort? Like what kind of time are we looking at? And he was like, look, if you came anywhere in the region between like 21 and 20 minutes, I think we'd be doing really well for where you're at right now. Obviously, like I'd only had probably 8 weeks of training. And it was only probably 6 weeks prior I'd started a bit of speed training again, but nothing too drastic or like not a lot of repetitions. So that was kind of in my head, and like my PB would be maybe like 19:53, I think it was. So I even at the time I was like 21 minutes would be very well, like very good for where I'm at right now. But yeah, I ended up running 19:16.
Brilliant.
On my Strava, I think I was 19:22 official. But yeah, it was huge confidence boost. Like we were kind of saying towards May, we'd look at running a sub 25k. So it was nice then to know that we're well ahead of where we thought we were. But I still think like I don't have that endurance fitness. Like I found out yesterday, the last 2 kilometers of the 16k, my legs were very tired,
Yeah.
which was usual. You know, like I'm normally strong over longer distances, but I definitely just don't have the miles in my legs yet to kind of cover ground as fast as I'd like.
So did you have anything in between that 5K race as such, really, and Mallow yesterday? No?
No, I actually only ran once. So I did the race on the Saturday. I ran again on the Sunday and again the following Wednesday. And then I stopped running completely because my asthma got so bad on the Thursday that I actually would not have been able to. I could barely get off the couch. I was so puffed. It was very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So literally that fast 5K, 2 10Ks, and then Mallow yesterday. Not the most ideal racing scenario, but it was great.
But you got through Mallow, which is the positive thing again. And again, running at a distance after injury is always the kind of first sign. If did it enter your head at all now when you were running yesterday, or were you just so focused?
Yeah, it actually didn't come into my head at all. And like, I think that's how you kind of know you're over an injury. Like,
Yeah.
I was paranoid when I first came back running. I was thinking about it nonstop. Like, I didn't know if I was making up that it was sore or if it actually was sore. And I was constantly like testing it out. You know, I could be downstairs boiling the kettle and I'd be up on my toes, like doing calf raises to see if it was hurting. So I was constantly like subconsciously checking it. And I was really aware of that as well. And I kept trying to stop myself or like catch myself in that moment to be like, no, stop doing that now. Like, it's fine. I got loads of physio afterwards. I got like shockwave therapy on it. Like I was probably going OTT, but I was just so worried about it. But no, it's kind of left my head, to be honest. It didn't come into my head at all yesterday. I just feel like I was so happy to be back running, just doing what I like doing. Hopefully long may that continue.
So what are the
Hopefully.
short-term, medium-term, long-term plans then? You must have some. Or are they all
Question.
top secret?
Definitely have a few. No, they're not top secret. I have no intention of running a marathon. I feel like I said that to you last time.
Yeah.
I don't want a marathon this year. So that's kind of nice having that decision made. I know that that's the right decision. I don't want to do that. I'm pacing in the Cork 10K, so I'm going to be pacing the 45-minute group, which is really nice. I think I've raced Cork now like 3 times. I've done the 10, I've done the half twice. And I knew that I wanted to run it, but not necessarily as a race for myself. So I actually applied to pace for the half, but they didn't have any slots for that. So they offered me the 10. So I went for the 45 minutes. So I'm excited for that. I think it'll be really nice to help other people achieve their goals. And a few people have messaged me that are intending to run 45 minutes for 10. So it's nice then that there'll be people in the group that I know as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't have any other races booked before that, I think. I definitely would like to squeeze in something though. I have Lisbon half marathon booked on the 11th of October.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
actually my 29th birthday. So I think it's a good omen. I'll wake up, it'll be my birthday, hopefully run a PB. I would love to run a half marathon PB this year. But I don't know. I think it's definitely a goal for the latter half of the year. I don't know, is it feasible on this side of it? So I've ran 127. Ideally, I'd love to run 126, 125, hopefully, and a 10K PB as well. But I don't have any 10Ks booked. I've ran 40:17, so I'd like to just dip under the 40-minute mark. I think would be nice for this year.
You have to do the
Um,
Cork 10K.
that's what I'm pacing in, you see.
No, no,
So,
no, not Cork Marathon. What's
oh, sorry.
the one that's done?
Oh, the one in August.
Yeah. Because you said,
Yes, yeah.
I think
That
you
is the
said
Cork. Yeah,
the last time you said you've been to see it, but you've never run it.
I ran it and then I went to watch it last year. So I ran it the year before.
Okay.
And that's where the PB comes from. So I ran 40:17 when I ran it. So I would, yeah, that actually could be an option. And you know what I was thinking as well, like with the injury, I lost out on so much time running and so many races that one of my goals this year is to actually just throw myself into as many races as possible. Now, nothing stupid, like I don't want to be racing every weekend, but
Yeah.
I would I'm kind of afraid of racing, and like I always have that pressure on myself that I want to PB every time I race. So I think I need to get into the habit of racing without getting a PB, and racing and being okay with like running to the level that I'm at rather than constantly wanting to run to a better level. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's more like a mental thing that I constantly have this, like I put the pressure on myself that I want to run. I'll only run a half marathon if I'm going to PB that half marathon. Whereas I think going forward, I just want to run races and run them where I'm at, like meet myself at where I am. So like Mallow now was a really good way of doing that. I knew that I wasn't in PB fitness, regardless of whether I was sick or not sick. It was never going to be a PB. And I think that was good, like to put myself out there and do that. Um, Same with parkrun, like just not having any pressure on myself, just going and seeing what I'm capable of. And I'd love to just have a few more of those kind of races. And a few like 5 milers. I haven't done any of those. And that was actually my first 10 mile race. I've never raced a 10 mile. I've only got a 10 mile PB from a half marathon. So it was nice
Yeah.
to do that. And just, yeah, I do like the shorter distances. Like I think that I was looking at everyone else running marathons and I convinced myself that that's what I was meant to do. But I actually do have a decent turn of pace. So I think it'd be interesting to see how I fare over shorter distances for the next couple of months.
I think it's important you say that as well, because I think there's a lot of people just at the moment, marathons have become very kind of trendy, and there's people almost starting running, wanting to run a marathon, and
Yeah,
there's so much in between that you
so much.
and to specialize in a half marathon or to specialize in a 10 miler is just as, I mean, when we started running 5K was like it was an achievement.
Well, it used
So
to be couch to 5K and now it's couch to marathon. Like
yeah,
it's mad, really trendy. And like there are a lot of fitness things that are trendy at the moment. Like High Rocks is really trendy. Running a marathon is really trendy, and people forget about the distances in between. But like there's a huge difference between running a half marathon and running a marathon. Like
yeah,
even if you run, like I could run a half marathon and I'd still be like, I'd feel good for the day. I'd still have energy to do things. Like I think if I go past even like the 25K mark in training, it's exhausting. Like you don't take into account how tiring the training is, how much time goes into it, how much effort goes into it, like how much you have to put on the back burner. Like your social life goes out the window. You have to prioritize your sleep, your nutrition, your training, and like everything else just takes a backseat. It's
yeah,
so consuming. Whereas I think things like 10K, 5K, half marathon, they're all realistic distances that kind of slot into your everyday life without being too taxing or too time consuming. Um, and like, I don't know, it's good to get experience over different distances as well.
yeah. I know. We did 2 marathons last year, and even on the second block, it kind of took the joy a little bit out of the long runs on the sun. They were really long, and you just end up
Yeah.
going, I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed the first one. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
as you say, just doing it, and even saying just doing it isn't probably giving it justice either, because a lot of people, a 10 miler is major, and a half marathon is a major distance. Do you know?
Yeah. They're huge distances. Like I always think if you, like even 5K is a huge distance. And I feel like now people feel like they have to just go and run a 5K as their first ever run.
Yeah,
It's, all distances have to be respected. Like I am really enjoying at the moment. My longest run has been 16K. It's not too taxing. It's a nice distance. It's social. Like I meet my friends, like we go for coffee after. You're not gone for the whole morning. Whereas like when I was training for Dublin, running 30K, you're gone for like a good 4 hours in the morning. Half your
yeah,
day is gone.
yeah, and you're knackered in the afternoon.
Oh my God, wrecked. I'd go for a nap, wake up, eat dinner, go back to bed.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's just a different ballgame. I think definitely now going forward, I just want to have a way more experience racing across the board in all distances before I even think about running a marathon again.
yeah. Or even you may never want to run a marathon again, or will it always be at the back of your head?
Oh, it's definitely at the back of my head. Just I know that this year is not the year to do it. Um, and I think that for me, the most realistic thing is to be consistently running like 50, 60K a week every week before I
Yeah,
even consider upping my mileage. Like I've kind of sat now around 50K for the last like 12 weeks, bar my 2 weeks there where I was sick. But like that's the kind of consistency I'd want to see across nearly a year of training before I'd even consider upping it to 60K, 70K, which is what you need to be doing, you know?
yeah.
Like, I think as well, it's easy to underestimate how much mileage you need to be doing every week to tackle a marathon.
Yeah.
I think you'd want to be running at least probably 70, 80K a week.
Yeah, you see, I think the first time for me, it was that jump. I was doing 3 runs a week thinking I was grand, and then suddenly we just jumped up to 50 to 60 to 70 to 80, and it's like, it's majors. But I think you're spot on. I think if you're consistently running 50, 60 kilometers, some people do marathon blocks that even that's their longest run, their longest period of running in a week. So yeah, consistently running it is good. So we'll see. What about the run club? Is that parked or is that?
It parked for now. Like, it was going so well, like nearly too well. There was like 85, 90 people showing up some of the evenings, which is madness. I suppose the big thing for me is if you're bringing such a big group to go running with you, there is the issue of like, what happens if someone gets injured? What happens if someone falls? Especially when you're the person that's organizing it. I kind of just got a bit worried with the amount of people showing up. Like, it was amazing to see. It was unbelievable. I was like walking into a sea of people going, oh my God, all of these people are here to run with me, which is mental. But like, I just got the fear, especially coming into the colder weather. It was icy down by the marina. Like, it was wet, it was rainy, it was dark. If anyone fell, like, you kind of have that question being like, am I liable for that? Like, potentially, yes. And I think what kind of gave me a fright was when I was looking at renewing my membership for Athletics Ireland, like, the reason you pay membership is so that you have insurance,
Yeah.
so that if anything happens when you're running with your club, that it's covered and the club are covered. And I just kind of started to question a bit, like, how safe is it? Would I be liable? And it kind of just freaked me out a small bit.
And tell me, while you're on that subject, you were running your first race in one of our first episodes for Eagle AC,
Yeah,
and that was your last race for, for Eagle
I know,
AC.
my first and last race. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I actually, my boyfriend James is from Galway, so I spend a lot of my time out there, and I'd be very friendly with the lads who set it up through James Place Hurling for Stars, and I know a few of them through the club. So I was always in Glanmire, so I would naturally just kind of fall into the sessions. And it was never an issue. Like, you could run for another club, but you could train with them. They always said that to me. So I used to go for all my runs with them. But it got to a point where I was only going for runs with Glanmire, but I was joined to Eagle, and I'd actually never been out to any of the Eagle sessions. I'd never gone for any of the long runs with the Eagle, and I actually was like, I can't keep this going. I'm going to have to make the switch because I train with them all of the time. And so I decided to make the switch. I think my renewal was coming up, and it was the same time as the transfer window was coming to a close. So I just decided to make the leap. It was nothing personal. Just, it
No,
had to
no,
be done. I
I
way
thought,
frequently.
I thought it was based on the running vest. It was a little bit like Adidas white and purple.
Nice. It is nice. I actually didn't wear it yesterday. I said I better not bring it out just yet. Just let the dust settle first. Yeah, it's very nice. It's purple, white, Adidas. The running jackets are unreal. We actually do. We have a lovely club, in fairness. It's growing very quickly, and I feel like we're making a very good name for ourselves.
But the good
Yeah,
thing about the running community is people don't. It's not like soccer clubs. It's not like the people don't really hold grudges about people moving clubs, and
I
you
don't
know,
know because this is our club.
no, no,
I would
no.
you
I
can't
mean,
ego to Glamire.
no, I find I even find it within the running groups that we have there's people from other clubs that are always running with groups of eagles, and there's other people that might move on for, like you're saying, it's convenience as well. There's no point in you being
Convenience.
part of Carrigaline if you're living in Glanmire. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, now when saying that, we're looking at buying a house in Carrigaline, which is gas. So we'll see. But no, I'm set now. I'm going to stay in Glamire. Uh, but yeah, it's a nice club. We have a good strong club. And it's great just to see. It's encouraging for me as well, like seeing the women's team being so strong. Like, obviously the goal for me is that I want to be on the scoring women's team, so like that kind of pushes me along as well. I think, yeah, I was on the scoring team for Eagles, so I'm hopeful that I might make it onto the Glanmire one as well, hopefully. But it's good to see such a good standard running.
So you've got, yeah, pacing for Cork. Have you paced before for a big
I
race?
have never paced before, and I think that'll be interesting. My friends kill me. Like, I shouldn't say I'm the worst pacer ever, but I do like to take things out a bit too fast. So I'll have to be very conscious that I'm sitting at that 4:30 pace or just shy of it to get people in under the 45-minute mark would be the goal.
Yeah, I won't mention the times because I think anyone that's pacing is it's a wonderful thing to do because you're helping people. But the pacers I
Yeah.
was looking at yesterday were flying up the hill initially. They obviously
Yeah.
decided to go on a steady pace throughout the whole lot. So, but
Yeah. I thought because then we were kind of tracking the 70-minute balloons and before I knew it, they were gone.
yeah,
Up and up, gone out of sight, out of mind. Like, but I think the start was funny yesterday with there was a steward standing in the middle. Did you come across him? There was kind of the start coming out the gate, and there was a steward in the middle.
that's because there's a bollard that he's stopping
Okay.
people tripping. You know, there's that congestion anyway.
Yeah, but it really like slowed everything down.
Yeah,
So you started, and we kind of just started running, and then we had to. I was nearly down to a walk again, and then by the time I got out, I was kind of chasing after the balloons. So our first kilometer was fast. Like our first kilometer was way too fast. Niamh, who was running with me, she ran a PB yesterday. But after 2K, she looked at me and she's like, Karen, we are way overshooting ourselves here. But
yeah,
you know what? It's good for me to kind of get experience of like, okay, I need to speed up, I need to slow down,
yeah.
because I'll need that with me. Yeah, with the balloon attached to me. So it'll be good. It'll be a great day out.
And you'll probably be paired with an experienced pacer. Not saying you're not capable, but you know they will
Yeah,
have.
I hope I am. I hope
Yeah,
there's someone else. I actually don't know. I have no idea who else is going to be pacing with me or if I'm on my own.
and I
Which
think they normally have two because
I would have thought that as well. I know they do definitely for the half. I just don't know the setup for the 10. Like the last time I did the 10 was back in 2023, I'd say. And I
yeah.
wasn't taking, like I took it very handy. So I can't even remember there being pacers. But yeah, I'm hopeful that there's going to be a second person with me because I can get fierce excited and that first kilometer could be a 4:10. Hopefully not for everyone else running. I'll be having
Yeah,
a great time.
the
Um, but
P,
I'm really looking forward to
PBs for everybody in the Cork Marathon following Karen
it.
because
Sure, if we can go under 45 minutes, how bad?
yeah, yeah. And then will you be going on to a serious block then for the birthday marathon or half marathon?
Birthday, half marathon. Yeah, I think so. I'm like very keen after yesterday to get like really stuck in training now. I think just like a half marathon is very achievable. Like there's no major mileage. Now in saying that, like my shortest run at the moment is 10K, which feels like a lot. And I'm still not fully fit. Like I'm still working harder than I normally would be in training. But I think I'm keen now to like knuckle down, get stuck into like a really good routine and just get a good couple of weeks under my belt. I think the more time I can give myself, like leading into Lisbon, the better. So I'm not like, I don't want to look at a 12-week block. I just want consistent running, good sessions, good recovery, and just keep that mileage at like 50K every week. And yeah, I definitely think it's very doable. But
Yeah,
it's just, I'm probably looking at 4:05 a kilometer back to back for 21.1. But I'm like very fortunate. My coach is amazing. I think if I can stay fit, if I can stay healthy, I'll be doing very well, injury free, touch wood.
and
So
are you doing it on your own or is there a group going out?
my two friends, Niamh and Dina, are both going out.
Okay.
So we'll have different goals, I think. But yeah, we saw the route for it. I think it starts on the Vasco da Gama Bridge, which is unbelievable in itself. And it's a straight line out. So yeah. And I always think like when you're traveling for a half marathon as well, it just makes it that bit more exciting. Like it's a bit more of an occasion. And given that it'll be my birthday that day, I think that I'll kind of have the adrenaline to go for it.
And it's not one of these that has a marathon as well. It is focused on being a half marathon.
They might have a marathon as well. It could do. I actually can't remember. I booked it on Saturday night. I was feeling sorry for myself that I wasn't in full health going into Mallow. So we started having a look at the running calendar and we spotted that and just the date that it landed on, given that it was my birthday, we said it's a sign. Let's just go for it. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Hopefully I'd really love, I've been saying it for a really long time. I'd love to break my half marathon PB. I think the day that I ran my half marathon PB, I wasn't in the best form anyway. I wasn't well at the time. I was really stressed. I was on school placement. There was loads of external factors going on. And like, I remember I couldn't take on gels. I was just too sick. My stomach was really bad. And I ran the fastest I've ever ran, and ran multiple PBs during that race. So I'm hopeful that if I can get everything right, I could definitely go under 127, hopefully.
That'd be brilliant. Nice birthday present, wouldn't it?
I think it would be the best birthday present ever.
Yeah.
Well deserved after all the races that I've missed and the injuries and everything. I just think, yeah, that's my big goal for this year. I think everything else then is a bonus on the way.
Yeah, and traveling for a half marathon isn't as stressful as traveling for a full marathon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a doable distance as such, and you don't have
That's
to
the
be.
thing that you'll always get through it, I think, with a half.
Yeah,
Where the full, like, if it goes wrong, it goes really, really wrong.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be great. I don't know, will I run any other half marathons before it? I wouldn't mind running Charleville again. I wouldn't mind giving that a good attempt this time. I feel like I didn't do myself justice the last time. So I wouldn't mind giving that another go.
Yeah,
Other
that's
than that,
probably good. It's probably good timing, though, is it? It fits in well.
it'll be about 6 weeks out.
Yeah,
5 weeks.
no,
It actually wouldn't be terrible timing. I could
yeah.
race that and start tapering out after. I would like to redeem myself after sitting down at 18K.
But you still did all right, though, I think, didn't you?
I did 131, yeah. And like I sat down for a full minute in the ditch and had convinced myself I wasn't getting back up until I eventually got back up. But you know what? I think that was one of the best races in the sense that yesterday, with about 2K to go, my legs were so tired. I just didn't have the conditioning in them, having not been running for the 11 days prior. And I kept saying to myself in my head, I was like, you do not want this to be a Charleville situation again. Do not let your head give in. You're absolutely fine. And it actually really worked in my favour because I know that I never want to feel how I felt when I was sitting in the ditch in Charleville ever again. So in a kind of roundabout way, it was probably one of the best races to happen to me because I was very reluctant to give in on myself then yesterday. You know?
Yeah. I mean, every race is a learning experience, and that's a good way. Listen, thanks for coming on. It's great to have you back on the road and back positively running again after the last time I spoke.
I know it's a much more positive story this time, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm actually just delighted to be back. And I think just injury gives you a new level of just like gratefulness for being able to run again. And like, I never thought I'd miss racing as much as I did. Like, I'd always say, like, I hate racing, I hate the stress of it or whatever, but I never missed it as much as I did then. And I'm so grateful now to even be on start lines again. So I'm like, whatever times I run, as long as I'm on a start line, I'm running a race, I'm getting a medal after, I'm happy, to be honest.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's a great way to finish, Karen. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'll chat to you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
That was episode 34 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. I do hope you enjoyed that episode. I know I certainly did. She's always full of enthusiasm, full of information, and a great motivator, really, to anyone that has been injured and anyone that's thinking about taking up running, and all the things really that are that make up being part of the Middle of the Pack podcast. It's not always about speed, it's not always about times, it's about being an everyday runner and coping with everyday issues like work and work-life balance, etc. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. I know I certainly did. But for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.